And you pass it on. Love gives me energy, and she helps me to be the best host that I can be. And I take a lot of the energy that she gives it be free, and I like to channel a lot of that positive, good energy into Storytellers. Now, Love got that from somewhere, from several different people, but there's somebody in particular that she really admires and she looks up to, and that brother is actually here tonight. And this is also his very first time at Storytellers. So I would like for everybody to give that good, positive energy to Brother Lamar Hill. Give it up, y'all.
How you doing?
All right.
All right.
Huh? All right.
Okay. I just want to say, for the record, round of applause if you ever felt like a hooker in church. Everybody know what that means? If you don't know what that means, then don't pay me no mind, but that's kind of how I feel right now. Like a hooker in church. Alright, so I want to follow the rules though, because I think it's important that I follow the rules, because 9 times out of 10 when I walk into a poetry venue, I don't feel like I have to, but this time I'm going to. And I remember brothers saying that I was supposed to tell y'all a book I was reading, and a book that inspired me. So the book that inspired me probably more than any other book that I've ever read, it was Asada. Inspired me more than any other book I've ever read. Watching how she navigated that whole thing was just inspiring for me. The book I'm reading right now is called The 5 Love Languages. Not sure if you've ever read it, but it basically says that if you're with somebody who doesn't understand your love language, then it is the equivalent of being with somebody who doesn't speak English, and you do. So if you are a giver, or you like to give gifts, and you're with a person who doesn't like to receive them, then you two are on 2 different levels, 2 different paths. If you're a touchy-feely person with someone who is not touchy-feely, then you two are on 2 separate paths. So basically you have to find someone who has at least one, it's like 5 of them, and those are just 2. I think it's servitude, or like acts of servitude, like somebody who likes to cook for you and clean up after you, someone who likes to give you gifts, someone who's touchy-feely, and they go on. It's a great book, sure. I don't know any of you, so like when I don't know the crowd that I'm performing for, I like to revert back to the classics.
So, my mother is an evangelist. And I'm convinced that she won't be content until my voice is in a pulpit. I said, my mother is an evangelist, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a more fervent servant. She is fire-baptized, and I've watched men find God through her eyes. I said, my mother is an evangelist. Every Sunday she leads souls to Christ, but I tell her, Mom, I'm a poet. Every night I lead souls into the light. I go where your preacher would not dare. Y'all mistaking these words for poems. These ain't poems. These are prayers. This is how I talk to God, and y'all just happen to be here. These are all my fears and aspirations wrapped up in this white clothes and packed in a tomb for 3 days. Then the Spirit moves the writer's block out of the way and resurrects the words I need to say, and they ascend over the page while hundreds of people bear witness. So that generations from now will still be able to appreciate it, and I can still hear my mother praying for my soul. Hoping that one day I would see clearly and find my way back to the ministry. And it's hard for her to understand because she's almost as stubborn as I am, that I ain't out here chasing a dream. I didn't choose poetry. Poetry chose me. I liberate souls every time I write a poem, and I bring down the walls of Jericho every time I perform, and I don't wait for them to come to me. I go where they live at. I mean, even God is a poet. You need only read the 23rd Psalm to understand that. How ridiculous must a writer be to say, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, for my pen and my pad, they comfort me. That's why I get love no matter where I go in this country. I used to contemplate suicide at least 3 times a week before poetry. And I'll tell you that to sympathy. I'll tell you that because I know at least 3 people in the audience are going through it with me. But who would have known? Who would have known that my own words could deliver me? Who would have known I can get closer to God with every metaphor and simile? And I ain't nobody. I'm just a ghetto bastard from an unforgiving northeast city, but with this pen, and with this pad, and with this mic, I'm larger than life. I fight the good fight, so when I'm dead gone, y'all can bury my ashes in the same tomb where they buried Lazarus. Because 100 years from now, some young poet is going to be thumbing through the CDs in his great-grandmother's attic, and he going to raise me from the dead. I said my mother is an evangelist. Every Sunday she leads souls to Christ. But I tell her slow and deliberate so that she will never forget that I am a poet and I'm following the will of my God, and I'm far closer to him at this very moment than I could ever